Alrighty. Hello, gamers. I'm Sky. Welcome to the world of Drakkhen. With me, I've got our commentators Assassin Narga and Kaichu.
Hello.
Hello. Drakkhen is a wonderful game that was originally French-made in 1990 for the Amiga and Atari ST home computer. It was then bought by a Japanese company called Kemco. We're gonna get some jams music real fast. There we go. It was then bought by Kemco, who then translated it to Japanese for the Super Famicom. So this is one of the first RPGs for the Super Fam and eventually the Super NES. You'll see a lot of old, like, 1980s inspiration for the gameplay, where it goes from 3D to 2D auto combat, which we'll get into when we start. We take 4 characters. We're going to go around the map. We're in the Isle of Drakkhen, which there's a war going on between the royalty of the 4 nations, fire, earth, water, and air. And we're basically the humans that get spawned in here to help fix them. They all hate humans, except for the few that are trying to help us save the Drakkhen nation. With that, do you guys have anything to say before we get started?
No, I think we can get into the character creation, which this game starts by creating 4 characters, so I think you can go ahead and start doing that.
There we go. I forgot to put my webcam on, I apologize. But yeah, keep going, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we're gonna create 4 characters, as Sky is about to do right now. So there's 4 classes in the game. There's the fighter, the scout, the mage, and the priest. The first one is going to be the fighter, and we are going to name him Drakkhen, because if you name your first character Drakkhen, you get an Easter egg ending, or an Easter egg in the credits. Now, we get some stat numbers that we can put into the character. The thing is that none of these stats actually do anything, as far as we know, at least in this version of the game. So the only 2 stats we're really looking to get good values in is HP and coin. So coin is very useful to, like, buy things. We need about, I think it's 55,000 minimum to buy the things that we need. So the starting coin is really useful. HP is, of course, really good. I believe 36 HP on the priest is actually really good.
Yeah, that's a very good roll for our priest, SBD Wolf.
Congratulations, Wolf. You get to be a part of something legendary.
The legendary Dragon's Lair NES world record holder himself. He is also a Drakkhen runner himself. Okay, we'll do 17, 15.
Right. So as you can see, Sky is actually selecting the stats a little bit, but they don't do anything. So it's just for this, some kind of mental well-feeling.
To be perfectly honest, though, we're not seeing it in this particular run because we did get a good roll, but it is very normal for us to restart the game if the priest does not get good stats. So even though the stats themselves don't matter, they only matter insofar as you get 36 HP. 36 HP or above, 30 HP or above for the priest, and about 1,600 coins and above for the priest. Everyone else, it really does not matter that much. But as we can see, Sky has now also made the scout, which we have missed out just now, but we're naming that after Narga, because in every one of our runs, we like to name our scout after Narga. So it's kind of a really silly thing he did in his run, and we're not letting him live that one down. And finally, the magician, we got the mage. We're naming this one after Granius, the man who has brought all of us together in this majestic game of Drakkhen. And the stats matter for the mage a little bit as well. We want to get at least 28 HP for the mage, but that one is worth the gamble a little bit. But as we've mentioned, the coins matter a lot. You want to accumulate at a certain point of the game at least 55,000 coins. But of course, we can't do that in the character creation screen alone. But it's just the more you create earlier on, the better off you are. So.
All right. Well, without further ado, the time is going to start as soon as we hit begin game, and we're gonna do it. Are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1,
and go.
Let's go. Okay, so we're gonna load into this world. These are our 4 characters. They're gonna however, walk inside, and we're going to be in this first-person view, which is actually used to traverse the world. So we're going to go to this first castle now. There's a mode boss that's inside the mode here. We're going to get ready to fight him. He doesn't actually show up yet, but he's going to show up.
Narga! Oh no! Well, Narga just died. That's a little unfortunate. Oof. I didn't actually get to kill the fighter. Yeah, that was it gained life right where we got in. So in reality, the first thing we do in Drakkhen speedruns is we drown the fighter and the scout. They are completely useless other than being martyrs to the cause. And so you'll see once they spawn in and out of combat, it actually lags the game so much when they're all on the same screen. So I'm actually going to need to back up, kill this fighter. This doesn't lose time, though, by a lot. Oops, what did I do?
It does when you do that, though.
Yeah, it's doing some weird shenanigans right now. It's fine. All right, we're fine. Okay, so
we're fine now. So we got the setup that we need. So,
yeah, everything's fine.
This is how it should look like, where it's just the priest and the mage just walking around. So right now we have just spoken to Drakkhen over there in the first castle, and he tells you you're going to the second castle to go and find my sister. So you're going to go to that castle to find his sister. We now see a
no, that was I'm facing the wrong direction.
He went too far. Yeah, he went too far.
I don't normally have to back up kill. There we go.
Yeah.
That's a merchant.
This is going great, by the way, but this is also very standard for Drakkhen.
So this game is, yeah, heavily relies on RNG with encounter rates and everything. You'll see with the combat that they run out on the screen, and you've got a chance to kind of run around. It's not an action RPG in any sense where you can press slash or an attack. You basically just run up to the enemy, and they start swinging their weapon. So the way that you do it is kind of getting up to them and just hitting them until they die. But they can just one-shot you for absolutely no reason. It's a bit silly, to say the least.
There also isn't necessarily a chance that you can cast a spell called Strength, and even then it doesn't guarantee that you can actually hit your enemies. So that's kind of what we mean by sort of, we think this game is sentient. It has a mind of its own in many ways.
All right, I had to pull the map up. Drowning the fighter kind of threw me off, I'll be honest.
Yeah, but typically in a real run, the best way to really speedrun Drakkhen, because so little of it is in your control, what really is in your control is the navigation. So typically you should be able to navigate the entire game down to the T. And if you do bring up the map, even if it doesn't lose overworld time, it does lose game time in terms of the speedrun. So it's best to not do that. But obviously, because we are showcasing this run, we are not aiming for world record. We're just aiming to really showcase a lot of what gives this game its charm. But in terms of fighting the enemies, we did not really talk about that yet. But we see now SkyeHighh is actually fighting. Yeah, SkyeHighh needs to save is the other thing. But in terms of the enemies that we are trying to fight, until that point we have been avoiding many of the enemies, and the best way to do that, according to the manual, is to spam L and R. Not that we believe that really does anything, but in terms of fighting the enemies, you do want to be fighting the spider, and you want to be fighting golden armored Drakkens, and the reason for that is because they do actually drop really good things. They drop really expensive items, or they also drop a lot of coin. Yeah. So, and they do give you quite a lot of EXP as well, because when you approach the next two castles, you want to at least get the magician to level 2. So that is really the goal of encountering those enemies. Obviously you don't want to encounter too much, but it's also best to not, it's also not ideal to not encounter them at all.
That's not good. Okay, that's not good. Okay. Someone's gonna die here. Yeah, someone's gonna die here. All right, that's fine. We had the safety. We had the safety save.
We had a safety save. So something you saw SkyeHighh do earlier was they did save the game, but in the real run you don't want to do that. But since we don't want to have to go back to the beginning, we are going to be doing quite a few safety saves.
The current world record is a 33:25, and we're trying to finish this around 40 minutes with a lot of the safety that we have. There's a lot of high-risk strats, high-risk, high-reward strats that the world record currently has. We're going to try to implement all of them, but with safety saves. So if we lose 45 seconds, I think it's worth to kind of show off and showcase some of the stuff. But as Kaichu was saying, what we're trying to do now is try to get some levels in EXP and some money so we can get some items for later. We do have quite some time to kind of what I call burn or kill in the beginning of these of this game. The first third of this game is going to be spent doing this. And hang on. Oop, it's the wrong button. I don't know where I am. Empty file, war ring, unlock. Okay, so that's pretty big. So empty file, war ring is... We still need a torch too.
Yep. But ideally, at this stage, we want to be trying to accumulate our coin, as I said earlier, to about 65,000. Normally, in a regular speedrun, be 55,000, but we are going to.
I think I'm going to try to do 45 for this one.
Okay. Okay. But we need to get to approximately that amount.
So yeah, the more money we have, the safer we can make it, for sure. Every 10,000 past 45 is just safe.
And what you don't necessarily see Sky doing right now is that they are using a very essential tool in the speedrun, which is a calculator. So you do want to, normally when you run this, you want to have the guide where they do tell you how much each item costs. And as each enemy drops them, you want to be able to calculate so you know that you have enough money to spend at the shop after this next castle. So the more you do right now to ensure your efficiency, really, the better off you are. So, yeah.
All right, so I think now is the time that we bring up the day-night cycle.
Yeah.
So, as you see, I'm kind of waiting around right now, and it's become nighttime. So there is a day-night cycle, which, if you're familiar with frame rules, this game has a frame rule of about 8.5 minutes, and I think I'm just going to go book it now. But what we're trying to do is there's a specific castle that we have to get to about 25 minutes in. We're good. We're rich. And about, hopefully, 25 minutes in. It'll probably be closer to about 28 now. But this is the Constellation Monster. This is an unavoidable fight. The castle is only open 1 minute and 5 seconds out of the entire day-night cycle, right when the sun rises. Oh my god, please run. I'm just spamming it. Sometimes it just doesn't run away. But basically, we're trying to get to that castle as soon as it opens up, or right before it opens up. And so we kind of have a lot of time in the beginning, which is why I kind of always say that the beginning of this game, losing time in this overworld, you don't really lose real time, as long as you catch that bus, you know?
And as we can see, we got the moat boss over here, and we have just successfully defeated him.
Yeah, it's very good. That moat boss can completely kill you.
Yep. So have you gotten a torch yet, or do you need to get one?
I need to grab a torch, but we're gonna make 2 trips in this castle for safety. So part of the safety strats, instead of hanging around over there and just waiting for spiders or hoping we get good RNG for good items to drop and resetting, we can kind of go inside this castle, and while SBD Wolf gets to talk to Hordkin here, Grandi's gonna go over here and rob the place. and he's gonna swipe these 2 swords that are 5,000 each, so essentially 10,000 each time we do this. Oops. And we're gonna back out and come back in. And Hordkin's rich. He just replaces all of his stuff as soon as you take it. It's very nice. Okay. Past the shark again. And unfortunately, we also didn't get a key item to drop. Not the key, but it's an important item, the torch. So as a backup, we're grabbing this torch right here, and we'll grab another 10,000 gold. That'll bring us up to about 45,000, which will be just enough to kind of do what we need to do. But with the safety saves, we should be okay. We should be all right. The third boss will not be an issue. Knock on wood. The third boss will not be an issue. We'll be fine.
We always say that, but obviously, you're kind of always on edge when you play this game. Just when you feel like you're safe, you're really not. So
yeah, the soundtrack's a banger. Like right now, the nighttime is so relaxing, and I am just on edge waiting for an encounter to show up. All right, let me do this if you want to explain it.
So we're now going to be selling all of our items. We're in the shop, and we're going to sell all of our items that does not have a star on it. And we should be accumulating, as I said, about 55,000 coins. And the purpose of that is because we want to be getting an item called the Thiefy Staff. Now that does not drop every single time, so you have to always re-enter the shop if that does not drop. Hopefully, normally we hope to get it in about the first or second try.
Let's go.
Second try, let's go. So we got it in the second try. Thank you to Wolf because he has very godlike RNG.
Don't do that.
But the record in terms of getting the Thiefy Staff has been, I think, 15 tries with Grandius.
He had 15 or 16. It's wild. It's 1 out of 8 chance. There's 8 different staffs that it can spawn.
And it does actually. There are times when that can actually be a run killer. So a few times when I've run it, I've had to wait for about 10 minutes until the Thiefy Staff drops, in which case the run's already dead. So that's always kind of a place where you want to pray, because up to this point we don't actually know how to manipulate the RNG for it to drop efficiently. So
we do know that if you get to level 10 and try to buy a Thiefy Staff, it will not be there.
Yeah. And the Thiefy Staff is actually something that we need to use in this next castle coming up. So it is essential that we do 2 things leading up to this next castle. 1, get the Thiefy Staff, and 2, get the magician up to level 2, because he does learn a spell which is unlock that we need to enter the next castle. Without it, we can't continue.
Yeah, the magician learns it at 2, and the scout gets it at level 4, and it's the only 2 things in the game that will make this castle open up. It's the unlock spell. The Thiefy Staff, however, what it actually does is it's a permanent unlock spell. So this specific castle, what a troll. This specific castle has like 9 different doors that are all locked. So it completely mitigates that. We're going to do a safety save here in case I screw something up. We're going to equip the torch. We're going to have Grandi cast unlock, and we'll walk right in.
Alright, so now we're at this next castle over here, and there's quite a lot of things we're actually doing to set up for the rest of the run coming up. The Colors of Hope is a very philosophical quote, as we have picked up on earlier on in the speed run.
A secret told is one no more.
Yep. This room over here is one of those really cursed rooms where no matter what you do, you are losing HP.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of those things where you want to be running as quickly as you can. But I don't know if Sky's mentioned this yet, but in a way, as we said, this game does have a mind of its own, and it doesn't matter what button you're pushing, it might just kind of move a different direction. And now this is where it gets really essential. So we're going to be in here, and we need to find a specific book. So it's going to be a very frame-perfect trick to find a book that will help us gain the knowledge, gain the experience to then continue to run and make it a lot faster. It normally takes about 25 seconds to get it. But without fail, it's 25 seconds. You can find this book, but it entails you walking around the bookshelves, flipping through every single book you can find, and then once you find it, it won't tell you. You have to figure that out in 25 seconds, and then you can leave. And that was a complete lie. You actually just wait in there for 25 seconds. So that's where math is really essential. You just have to add 25 seconds to your timer and just get out of there. But in terms of what I was saying about the experience points, you are actually gaining experience, about 50 experience points per frame, because the room there is really, really bugged. So we really take that to our advantage.
Okay, very good, very good. We got to level 4 in the castle, which is another safety strat that I'm trying to implement. Yeah, we're out of that now. So basically that a lot of the rooms in castles have exploration bonus, which is about 50 experience points. And for whatever reason, that room doesn't turn it off. So like Haichu said, 1 per frame, or 50 per frame rather. And so we've mathed out to all the way to level 10. And so our next goal is to get out of this castle, and we're going to get to level 10. At level 6, we're going to get a great spell. And how level ups work in this is kind of peculiar. So once you have enough experience points, typically in an RPG, you know, like Final Fantasy or Pokemon or anything like that, once you level up, once you get enough experience points, you automatically level up. In this game, once you get enough experience points, you have to do a damaging move. And that'll level you up. So we got Fireball at level 3, and so we're just going to get to 6, 7. Now we're level 7.
Yep. And the goal here, according to the manual, it was not the manual, sorry, the speedrunning guide, is that you want to be fighting every enemy that is non-threatening.
Non-threatening
And you
enemies.
have to, fight non-threatening enemies. Take that as you will. But the goal is to get your priest up to level 10, because that will unlock something called antimatter. And at that point, you'll have speed, you'll have antimatter, and that is all the leveling up you should be doing at the minimum.
Yeah. So I went ahead and cast speed now. Typically, it's more optimal to hold off until we get more encounters to get to 10, because we're making some good time. But I've kind of played with some backups of leveling up, and I think I'm going to be okay. We can be level 6 getting into the ice castle as long as we have teleportation. As long as we're level 8 by the next two, like the second castle we're going to right now, we should be okay. Other than that, it's going to be just a walking simulator and hoping that we don't get bad encounters, I guess. That's a bad encounter. That's a bad encounter. That thing will burn our clothes. That thing is known to kill. A lot of the enemies in this game are completely wild. A very fun fact about this game is that about like the lore of stuff being kind of lost. That's a good one to fight. Maybe not. We're gonna run. That thing is, I don't know why that's so beefy. So the original game for the Amiga and the ST came with a really big packet of lore that was mostly written by Gary Gygax, who, if you don't know, is one of the main creators of Dungeons and Dragons. And he wrote all the lore that goes into it that I guess that reading that kind of tells you more of the story. This is the pots and pans monster.
Pots and pans.
Reading it will kind of explain, I guess, more of the story of what we're doing and why we're doing it. It also will explain some of the enemies and what's their strengths and weaknesses just on like the lore. We're getting some really bad encounters right now, actually.
But I believe, like, in this particular translation of the game, they've actually sort of taken a lot of that out.
Yeah.
So even if you understand it in that particular version, it doesn't really work out in this one. And it's also because this game has been translated about 3 different times, I believe, from French to Japanese to English.
Exactly.
It's very difficult to even just decipher. We only know this because we did do a lore percent run, courtesy to Grandius, where we basically were trying to piece out the lore of the game. And there's a whole exhaustive Google Doc containing that information. So.
All right, this is going to be kind of awkward. So I am not level 8. I thought we were going to do some backups, but this guy's going to body us. We're just going to have to do a run back. So normally, this is going to lose us maybe about 10 to 15 seconds, which is not too big of a deal. But normally we're level 8 by this point, and we're coming into this castle to press this button right here. Oh my god, please. Oh, it's not a take, it's a button. Oops, I'm so stupid. There we go. And then normally teleportation will bring us back to the beginning of the castle, which is about 10 seconds faster than doing this run back. But
not ideal, but it's still viable.
It's more important that we make the dawn cycle than it is to be a lower level and waste 10 seconds here. If we miss the dawn cycle, we lose 8 minutes. So that's kind of the weird gamble. Is like if you are a second late. Ooh, we got the leash. Nice. That saves us a text box. That saves us a couple frames. Yeah, as we mentioned before, you might notice some of the jank. I'm holding straight down right here. And the AI wants to kind of correct themselves into their own position, which sometimes we use to our advantage. To do some weird setups, but otherwise, you can kind of get yourself killed and thrown into walls.
What I love this game, honestly, is you fighting the AI. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it's like trying to lead a donkey to water.
Pots and pans. Did you save?
Not for a long time. That's unfortunate. Okay, that is. Okay, here we go.
So yeah, things like that can happen.
Oh man,
things like that can happen.
That was not expecting that. Where are we though? Right when we got in, right? Okay, so we did do a safety save. All right, so that lost us probably about a minute or two. That's not too bad.
Yeah. So we're gonna just do all of that again right there.
That's not good.
Nope.
Oof.
But at least like we still know that we could still be on track to make the dawn cycle. So
Oh yeah,
again,
so
that is the most important thing.
Yeah, it goes back to. I did it again. It goes back to your save file. So we're still making a good dawn. We're not gonna lose 8 minutes. But hey, that's okay. That's why I made the time frame 40 minutes. We expect this, and I'm actually kind of glad to show off some of the bad RNG. I think that it would be a disservice to this game if we were to showcase it and not have anything kind of wonky happen. I think part of this game is a lot of charm and its awkwardness, its clunkiness. So we didn't get the text box skipped there. That's fine.
Like a lot of this speedrun, you're really meant to want to tear out your hair, but also laugh quite a lot. So
yeah.
If you're not doing that, you are doing something wrong. And while we were rehearsing this run, we actually did kind of see a lot of things we didn't even know before. So
yeah,
there are a lot of things we're still very much learning.
Every time I play this game, I learn something new. It is kind of wild. I don't know how that priest died. We are still level 6, which kind of explains it.
Save.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna safety save right at this angle though, so I know where I'm at. Oh my god.
Oh my god. So yeah, that can happen too.
Yeah,
usually as you're about to save, you can get attacked. Like.
Yeah. Okay, we're fine. That only lost us a couple minutes. Everything is fine. We'll definitely.
Everything's fine.
we'll definitely get a 40-minute time.
Yeah, we're making pretty good time right now.
The weird thing about the dawn cycle is that, and once like you're starting to start understanding where time is lost and saved in speedruns of this game, and like in part of the community and stuff, none of the splits, none of the times and paces really matter until you get to the dawn. And so it's like 2/3 of the way in. World record I think goes in there at 25:30.
26.
26, yeah, something like that. And I'd be happy to get there around 30 minutes. Which is, I think, very possible right now.
Right, so this castle over here, we are gonna need to come here to set up for the next boss. So the next castle is gonna be our first boss, the first boss fight, and we're gonna talk about that as we're gonna approach there. But you're gonna be getting a couple of really nifty things that you're not gonna use in the run, but it is essential to make sure you finish talking to this person, because if you don't, you have to run back in and do it all again.
Yeah. Yeah. For whatever reason, this game is like pretty hard sequenced. For a game that doesn't really have much explanation or real control over it, it has a very iron, rock hard grip on its sequence. And there is a specific sequence that everything in this game must be done, or it won't be done. You're hard locked out of everything. Like we just passed what's called the flashing lights, which we'll get to the very end. That's essentially the finish line of the game. I'm going to show it off. We're making great time. I can show it off and not lose time. So this is a very cool enemy right here, if I can hit it. I don't know why I can't hit them. There we go. So this is the panther. These come out of the gravestones once you bonk into them, and they're infinite, and they don't give you like any experience or any drops. And we got okay. But that didn't actually lose us any time, because as I see, the sun is just setting, which means that we'll be okay.
Right, so we're now going to be approaching our first boss fight, and there's something that Skye's going to be doing. And we did say that we want to try to get the priest up to level 10, but that's actually not totally essential at this point in time. In the past it was, but now that SkyeHighh has actually discovered something where they realized that if you melee this particular boss alongside, I think, 2 other bosses coming up, it actually is more consistent if you do get the position right. So this boss here, Skye did equip a buckler and a sword, because that can ensure more strength. And now Skye's gonna cast strength and go forward to him.
Yes, come on. We got it.
And that's it. That is the first boss
very
done.
Close. So items don't really do much in this game other than literally provide a shield. There we go. And so instead of taking a hit, we broke our shield and then it burned our clothes, and now we're naked and we have to go fight 3 more bosses.
We can pick that up along the way, though, so...
Yeah, we'll be fine. We don't need clothes to beat this. SPD Wolf, as a priest, he can be in his long johns and completely get a world record.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. And Grandi is joining him. Look at that.
The Naked Brothers band right here. But yeah, so as we were saying, when you melee the bosses, actually, for some bosses, it is more consistent. In the past, when we just tried to use antimatter, it would do a couple of things. It would make us use a lot of files, and if you run out of files, the run's essentially dead. And it could also just range from one-shotting him to taking minutes on it. So the fact that we now know a way to consistently melee the bosses has made speedrunning this game so much easier.
Yeah, it's definitely not a for sure thing. That is a very high risk, high reward strat.
Yeah.
Every boss in this game, all 4 of them, have a specific point in their boss room that we call the cheese points, where you can stand and the boss can't touch you. And, you know, as we're talking about antimatter, it is this one-shot kill spell that has maybe less than 0.5%. No, like less than 0.1%. It's like 1 out of like 1,000 perhaps. It's really, really low. And
we are going to be showcasing antimatter in one of the bosses, though, because even though we have identified the cheese points for all the bosses, there is, for one of them, the meleeing just will not be consistent no matter how much we've tried so far. So you will be seeing the difference between meleeing the boss and using antimatter.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can demonstrate how vast that difference is. But we're now approaching the Dawn Castle as well, but sorry about that.
No, you're good. It's kind of fun, though. If you do nothing but antimatter throughout the run, it kind of gives you a lottery ticket, per se. That's good RNG!
Yay!
Yay! So now that the mage is dead, we don't need the mage for a while. So it actually speeds up when we get pulled in and out of combat. So it's kind of good that the mage dies somewhere right there. But yeah, like Haichi was saying, like, you got to use mana files to replenish all your mana as you sit there and hope the boss dies, and you'll be able to see it once we get there. All right, so this is Dawn Castle. We got here pretty early, 27:50, and the doors are closed. All right, I'm gonna bring up Narga. Welcome back, Narga.
Whoa, that was surreal. I felt like I was going into that mode, and now suddenly I'm in the desert. I don't know what happened in between, but yeah, we're waiting in front of this Dawn Castle. If you interact with the door, it says that troops are blocking your way, but then the troops just disappear at dawn because they have to go and sleep, I guess. And you can just enter the castle at dawn. That's just how the game works. I think there's like a tent beside that tells you that you can sneak in at dawn, and that's how you're supposed to find out that you can enter at dawn.
Either way, kind of, so it is essentially get here before dawn, because if you get there afterwards, if you get there too late, you are going to be losing about 9 to 10 minutes, because all you're doing is really just standing outside this castle, twiddling your thumbs and being like, okay, and you end up having a just chatting stream. So you really don't want to be doing that. But
well, this is the marathon run, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't miss it. But essentially, when you start optimizing time, the optimization is to kind of take all of this time that we're spending here waiting, which is probably going to be about 1.5 to 2 minutes, and we could have used all of that time to wait around to get more items and more levels early on, which would have allowed us to not grab more swords, which going inside castles, having menus up, and one last thing, stops the day-night cycle. We will show you the last thing that stops the day-night cycle near the very end, but it's...
If you're being a part, by the way, you need to look away right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like gore,
There's a lot of
gory
gore
scenes
coming.
in this castle. Yeah,
A lot
because
of
the story goes
blood.
that this one king or prince, he sends a lot of troops to just kill and slaughter everyone in this castle, and that's what we're going into. So, yeah, you might want to be
really
careful.
terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. All of the scenes inside this
Yeah,
castle.
so if you're not into that stuff, look away right now. You can just listen to the stream, just don't look at the screen.
Here we go. 29:59 we entered in. Okay.
And look at all the
So-
corpses.
Corpses, no, the blood, the rivers of blood that are flowing through the room. So yeah, there's, as you can see, there's nothing on screen. But if you read the text that's coming up, it all describes like a slaughterhouse, basically, that everyone's dead and there's blood everywhere.
Bites out of people.
Yeah, but I don't think they really bothered to put that inside the actual rooms. So they're fine. You don't need to look at it.
But like the text is so graphic, so it's very text-based art RPG more than anything.
Oh, I just hit level 10. Whoa.
Nice.
That's why I almost died to
Yo.
Hordkin. I was level 9 and killed Hordkin. That's a world first.
Despite the fact that we're trying to play it safe, we actually we also have found moments where we don't have to.
All right, you confirmed you can kill Hordkin at level 9. Okay. So, now that we've passed Dawn Castle, every encounter here is going to lose us 6 seconds. Every little thing from here is serious. So this is when really like runs you can see where you're really at on pace and where you're going to really land. So we got out of there probably at 31, so I'm guessing we're probably going to get a 38 if we don't die. If we don't die anywhere and have decent RNG with Nahaktha, we should be okay.
Yeah, so we just went into a desert area. Now we have to walk all the way to the very, very north to the ice area, to the second ice castle that we went into, and we have to fight the boss, that is Nahaktha, or whatever, however you pronounce it. No one really knows. The game doesn't even know how to spell the name. It spells it differently like 3 times throughout the game.
Yes, all the names are spelled differently. There's a lot of H's and K's. There's a lot of there's double A's a lot, like
Double
llama.
A's everywhere.
Wait, llama's double L.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay, we can cut that from the VOD, right? But there's also the strength spell itself is misspelled. It's like strenging. There's like 2 N's or 2 G's.
I've never noticed that.
We'll see it later. We will see it later.
Well, we can show it. We can show it after the credits roll.
Wow.
All right, so
crazy.
we've had some decent RNG so far on encounters. We've only had we've had less than decent RNG on encounters so far. Commentator's curse, right?
Yeah.
You might want to safety save before the next boss.
Oh,
because-
100%. I'm saving between every single castle right now. I just need to get to the castle. Oh, I almost missed it. Okay, there's
And
a lot.
speaking of,
There we go.
Yep.
There's like no lag zone.
The castle. Yeah.
So yeah, at this castle, as we were saying, the difference between melee and antimatter, this is the boss where we are going to be using antimatter to defeat the boss.
Yeah, I believe the reason is that the boss can cast paralysis, and if the boss paralyzes you, then you can't melee it, and that's what makes it so difficult to melee this boss. So
she also
we're
hits.
just gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, good.
She also hits for like a minimum of 140, and at max stats HP of a priest, you have 120.
Let's just say this girl is terrifying.
This girl,
Exactly.
thick. This girl, real thick. So here we go. We're gonna cast it, and as you see, I'm just gonna wait and hope hope we can do it. If anyone wants to guess how many files it's gonna take, go for it.
So yeah, like Sky said, this spell is actually gonna one-shot it, but the priest is just so bad at aiming that.
There we go.
And here we go. We got it. That's actually not that bad. Only 2 mana files. I've seen this fight go on for more than like 14, 15 mana files. It's
Yeah.
I was that person. That was me.
Yeah.
You get 7 to a stack of mana files, and if you use more than that, where am I going? I'm going west, small mountain. Got it. Okay. If you use more than 7, that's like a lot of time waste, and it's spooky.
Yeah, because if you run out of mana files, you just have to wait until your mana slowly trickles up, and then you get to cast once, and then you have to wait again. So that's really, really bad. We just absolutely don't want that. So we got pretty lucky. We killed her. So that's good.
I missed it. I flipped around. I'm stupid. Yeah, I passed it. I don't know how that happened.
So yeah, as you can see,
to help you with the navigation in this game is to use the mountains behind, as the mountains at the very back of the backdrop. because those are static. So usually we use those to kind of be like, okay, where is northeast, west, and south stuff. So ideally, you shouldn't have to be opening the map up at all, but sometimes we just do.
And the other thing is that there's a lot of lag because of the overworld, and in some sections there isn't. So, like, you might have noticed in the ice sections, we were moving really, really fast. That's because there's just not that much lag in those sections.
What the heck? I did not. Oh my god!
No.
I've never seen this
We
room
need to fight this
before.
guy.
Okay.
Oh no!
I was
We went to the wrong room.
It pulled me up. It pulled me up. I've never been in that room before. Sometimes the priest really wants. I've watched the priest go back and forth between rooms before, just over and over. If you just hold a certain direction, it's just wild. So, anyways, here's the third boss. He gives us some time to set up. So we're not gonna have a shield. Okay, we're fine.
Oh,
We'll be fine.
that is a bit rough. A naked priest without a shield.
We're fine.
So yeah, this boss
guy
only
can only
activates
shoot
when you
one
top
direction.
turn.
Yeah.
That's
and he only
true.
shoot. Oh, never mind.
And we're dead.
And we're dead.
That's fine.
Drakkhen, everybody.
That's fine. We'll do the safety strat then. We'll do
Hey,
the.
Nana, do you want to try to fight him?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I can. Just
We're fine. We're fine.
We're fine.
Couple deaths here and there.
okay.
Again, very, very characteristic for a Drakkhen run. So ideally, you want to be equipping more defense and weapons for that boss. Of course, it's not essential, but it is safer.
I'm just gonna drop shoes and then we'll do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you can drop items, and a lot of them are not very important. Like, you don't need 2 pairs of shoes in this run, do you?
I don't even know if shoes do anything.
I don't know. If
They're
they do
good.
either.
They're good for selling.
No,
but
that's
yeah,
they sell for
everything-
cheap.
Every single piece of equipment in this game, except for like a couple of things, is only good for the money it gives you. When you sell them, that's all.
Yeah.
Most of them, they don't like. There's this thing called the Lucky Star, which, according to the manual, it disables straps. There's no such thing as straps in the game, so the stuff literally doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I think that the original game, for the computer system did. I think it had a lot more puzzles and traps to solve, but there's a lot of that's lost in translation still. We're still gonna do the melee strat. We're gonna do it one more time.
There we go.
Yeah, we're fine. See,
just sit there on his chair.
and it broke the shield, so the shield was needed. Oh, I don't have any mana to cast it. Scuffed.
Let me.
Okay, let's get out. We got one more boss. And this is a new route that I put together for this marathon specifically, so I might cheese it a little bit, I might fudge it up. But I think it's worth the 15-second time loss that it is to showcase something that's really cool that we're trying to implement into a faster route. So we're coming up to something that is going to stop the day-night cycle. And there are 3 points, or I guess technically 6 points of these in the game. And these are warp points. And
Get your cat gems ready.
Get your cat jams ready, because this is the slappiest banger. What up, merch? That's the good luck merchant. Oh my god, so having 3 is so laggy. But get your cat jams ready, get your dance emotes ready, because this is going to be a party.
So yeah, this is the warp. We are currently warping all the way across the map. This is, in fact, a real thing that exists in this video game, where you literally just speed across the map, the sky glows like every color in existence, and they just decided to put the best music in the game in this. So,
In a typical
just
speedrun
enjoy.
using this route, you will lose time using this, but of course it is worth just listening to the music and enjoying the view. It's very
Absolutely.
like stop and smell the roses kind of vibe you get from it. So
All right, we are not getting sub 40 after the 100 deaths that we took. However, we're gonna have a clean ending. We're gonna have a very clean ending.
hopefully, anything can
Hopefully.
happen. We don't
anything
know.
can
We don't
happen. We are actually approaching one of the most dangerous parts of the game. So if you're thinking, okay, we're approaching the end, it's almost there. No, it's actually very we're in the final stretch. We need to really be safe now, kind of situation.
Yeah, it's like the final area has the most dangerous monsters. I don't even think we know all of the monsters that exist in this region.
I
Like,
don't.
we just keep ending
We
up
saw them
like,
2 days ago and just were shocked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Just
still
over here.
I'm still seeing like new enemies in the desert and things that we can still get at a level 10 right now. We can still get one shot from there it is, just about everything. So we luckily didn't see any of it. That's good.
So this castle over here, we actually need to enter from a very specific angle. You need to enter from the northeast, northeast or northwest.
Yeah, you'd be facing just any direction north, I think.
Okay, yep. So you need to enter from that direction. Any other angle, you will not be allowed into the castle. So you can so you can't just kind of see the castle go in. You have to position yourself in a very specific point and then enter through that way. So if you're running it for the first time, the map is useful for that. But Sky has perfected that to the point that they don't need to do that. They just have a sweet spot and boom, inside the castle you go.
Dang it, we didn't skip it. That's fine.
that's
Go
that's
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that's a character swap buffer. There's that guy who spawns in that room, and he shoots paralysis at you. So while he's doing his whole spawning animation and trying to be cool, we just swap out. And he is the final boss actually. So
Punch him right in
Sky's
the
just gonna
knee.
walk up to his, punch him in the knee, and he's just gonna explode, and that's it. That's the final boss of the game. We just beat the game almost.
Almost.
Yes, old man
It's
skip.
over.
Let's go. Let's go.
The old man skip.
I did. So
Oh my God.
the other day we were practicing this. I did get killed as a priest on the way there. And we've seen it happen many times. We're still not out of it, but all we gotta do is we gotta get to the flashing lights, and as soon as we lose control, it's gonna be time.
That's gonna be time. Yeah.
Here they
We
come.
made it safe. That's
Here they
fine.
come.
Got out of the desert. Here we are.
And boom,
Time.
and that is time right there.
We did it.
About 40 something.
41-26.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
bad.
these dragons are just gonna descend
After
from the
a
heavens
many
along with their
deaths.
shadows. Yeah, it's not that bad.
So, okay,
Um,
this is our favorite part of the finale. I'm gonna go ahead and dramatically read this. As you hold up the 8 gems to the sky, 4 dragons descend. The blinding rays of light given off by the dragons creates the 9th teardrop. The dragons speak. All things begin and end with this, our good land. Remember that this is French, Japanese, English. The light teardrop, the atom's chaos, the sacred flame of thousands of lives.
yes. Nobody knows what this means.
It sends the army of chaos, lights the night, and returns order to the world. This is very hot topic-y, and I really like it. The 4 pairs of dragons melt into one, and each plays its own role.
Of course, naturally.
Of course. That sounds yep, makes sense.
You humans have acted with great wisdom and courage.
Ah, thank you. That's
Thank
very
you.
nice.
Your valiant
Scott, you
efforts
didn't do anything.
have restored justice.
Yeah, these dragons are being very nice to us right now. I think they like the humans, you know? I think they like them.
I'll
Now
give it a yes.
return to your own world.
So
Tell
we get to return to
your
our-
people
oh,
this.
What?
To fight with
To
dragons
fight?
means...
Come on, Arga. Come on, Scout. You got this.
The destruction of your future and your lives. Amazing. That is
But
the
I believe what this is that the humans were sent to the Drakkhen world. We were meant to do something, and now they're sending us back to our world or something like that.
Yeah.
They take us into the Drakkhen world, they make us do the dirty work, and then once we do it, they congratulate us. They're like, oh yeah, now get lost, and if you come back, we are going to destroy you.
Pretty much.
So,
But we're gonna let the credits play out because there are a couple of Easter eggs that
Yeah, we do really-
appear in the credits.
We do really like the credits. It's got another banger of a song. It's a great soundtrack, which
Yep.
I think it's like the next 2 slides. We'll see the Easter egg we did by naming Drakkhen. Yeah, it's going to be the next one, I think. Will show us a couple of things.
will we get the punk face though?
Oh my god, Scream. No punk face.
There we go.
So it shows
No
all the
punk
thrash
face.
guitars. The thrash metal inside programmer, Samu Tani.
You can only get that if you name your fighter Drakkhen, and that is the closest we can get to RNG manipulation in this game.
That's it. Yeah, because you get a random amount of those guitars, but not all of them.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah,
I know exactly what you're about to say.
you would think that this game is like it's pretty jank, right? Like a lot of the things don't work. Most of them don't do anything. Like you saw, we got a lot of like rings and stars, but we just sold them for money because that's all it was used for. So you might think, oh, okay, some people just made this game. And they probably didn't like
One
test or debug it or
person.
anything, right? Yeah, like they probably just made it for fun. They published it, and I don't think they tested or debugged it that much. So yeah, that's
I'm just like
probably
one
what the story
person when
is.
he was in college and was just like, I'm gonna make a video game while he's drunk or something like that.
Well, I mean, Gary Gygax was on this project originally and backed out. So I mean, like this was a really big press thing in France. I've been doing a lot more digging this last month on that.
Wow, yeah.
Like
So,
this game
yeah, the
cost
Drakkhen lore.
like this game would have cost like $120 today, and like it was like double the price of a normal SNES game.
Whoa, wait! I think they have debuggers for the game, guys. Six
Six
debuggers?
debuggers.
Debuggers.
No, they did not have 6 debuggers. That is
No.
crazy.
No.
That is so many. Wait,
Oh, there's second page.
there's more than that.
There's
12
12 debuggers.
debuggers.
Oh my god.
This
12.
game has 12 debuggers.
But strength doesn't work. It's
Yeah.
nothing works well.
And Nakatka is spelled differently 3 times. And yeah, Lucky Staff is a thing. And
Drakkhen 2 is coming soon.
I can do, yeah, we've been
30
waiting for it
years
for 30
later.
years. Yeah.
So the fun fact about Drakkhen 2. Drakkhen 2 was never made. However, its spiritual successor and noted as its sequel is called Dragon View, which is a pretty good game. Which I don't want to call that Drakkhen 2. I want another cursed game that sequels this, like Cheetahman 2.
We don't want,
right?
yeah, we don't want to play a game that actually works or anything like that. We just want to play another Drakkhen.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a video game, so...
Also, this is definitely one of those SNES games that once you beat it, you're soft locked, and it completely cuts audio. The stars will twinkle, but no. I'm gonna show off real fast the strength spell because we didn't have time to really see it, but it's if you look at it, yeah, it's strength.
I didn't even know.
Strength.
So yeah, if you are interested in joining our crazy community, me, Narga, and Sky are all part of this Drakkhen community. Narga and I don't run this game as much as we used to, as Narga ran it once. But we are still kind of piecing together quite a lot of science. So if you are interested, there is a speedrun.com page for us. There's a Discord server where it is pretty active, surprisingly, where we are trying to figure out a lot of what we still don't know. We are still learning new things every day. If you want to be a part of that process, we bleh you with open arms.
Blah! 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 Yeah. Thank you everyone from the SNES Super Stars marathon. Everyone in the back end that have talked to has been great and awesome, very accommodating. You guys are great. All your hard work is really appreciated. Thanks for SpeedGaming for hosting us. Otherwise, I'm pretty good to sign off. Thank you guys.
Great. Thank you guys for having us.
Watching Hack Hack.
Hack Drakkhen.